Today, I really feel that people, including myself, throw around the word classic a lot nowadays. It's because, I think, things move so fast now that a movie or a TV show from even a few years ago can be a classic. And may be true in some cases, but there's one show that truly is a classic. Legendary, iconic. And it goes all the way back to the late 50s, early 60s. A show that truly earns and owns the word classic, because it was truly an immersive and enjoyable experience with ideas that are still relevant today and can still be educational if you bother to think deeply about it. Although, I'll admit, I'm frustrated that I won't be able to fully show my respect for the show, as I just don't have the intelligence to accurately express my full love for it, but I'll try. Along with the creator himself, Rod Serling. Seriously, this guy is awesome. But yeah, when I was about, let's say 20 years old, I happened to stumble across this old-looking show, The Twilight Zone, which was around the time I was watching a lot of Sliders too. And that show definitely holds its own charm. And around this time, I was so into these, I still am, odd, surreal, and I guess experimental shows that I always craved for more and more. And that's how I came across The Twilight Zone. Looking back now, I realized that it was shows like this that heavily inspired me to write my own stories. But of course, the level that Rod Serling is on can never be reached, not by me anyway. Yeah, I'll admit, I adore this man. But that adoration goes beyond his famous Twilight Zone, as I enjoy listening to his thoughts on anything really, even when he gets political. I don't turn away and find something else to please my instant gratification dirty millennial brain. No, I actually find his personality and opinions to be very interesting, and I think that's why I enjoy the show so much, because of the mind behind it. And man, what an incredible beginning with the episode that started it all.
Where is everybody?
I want to first point out what this episode does best, actually. The whole show in general, and that is creating this mysterious and intriguing atmosphere that kind of leaves me watching in awe and this kind of trance-like state. Maybe it's the black and white look, the music, or that days gone by feel. I mean, hey, the world has changed a lot since this episode aired, and looking at it in 2021, it does feel like a whole other universe. But I think that's more to do with the vibe or feeling that Rod Serling was going for. There's such an interesting lore in his work, and it drags me in every time I watch. His world feels dreamy, nostalgic, and atmospheric, and it's no different with Where Is Everybody, which is about a man who finds himself in this desolate town and has no memory of his name or how he got there in the first place. He just happens to be walking into scene and accepts it. It's as if he appears and fades into the world, but doesn't know where he was before that. Like he says, he simply found himself walking to this place. So it does give off a dreamy vibe in the way that you don't know when your dream began, and you don't really think about it either. You just go along with the ride, and Mike Ferris, the main character, does that. At least for now. So, we open up with this nice piece of narration. The place is here, the time is now, and the journey into the shadows that we're about to watch could be our journey. I'm not entirely sure what that means, unless Rod is saying, by the way, this man is totally alone in this empty world, and that could be you too in your own life. Definitely true in this pandemic world we're living in, and early or mid 2020 when all the towns and cities were completely empty, it definitely did feel like an episode of The Twilight Zone. But yeah, Mike Ferris heads to a diner, and of course nobody is there, as this world he is in is completely void of all people, and not knowing this yet, he assumes the place is empty. So what does he do? Why, hop over the counter and help himself to the treats, of course. And everything is still there too, you know, just without humans. For example, the jukebox is still playing when he steps into the diner, and freshly made coffee is ready to be consumed. So it's as if the world is running normally, but with no humans around to actually run it. Everything is functioning as normal by itself, it seems, which does give off a creepy feeling. It's very spooky, because I guess you feel like someone is there watching you. So while he's in the diner, he's yelling out to the workers there, I got $2.85 as American money. You know, it's pretty funny, you know, I like that accent too they had back then, that mid-Atlantic accent, where they talk something like this throughout the whole movie, and sorry. But it's such a recognizable speech pattern that is now lost today. Nobody speaks that way in movies or TV shows anymore. But once you hear it, you know it's something pretty old. Something maybe from the 50s or 60s. But man, I love that accent. It's very cool to hear. And I want to learn how to do it just for my own enjoyment. But yeah, you know, as he's speaking there, I got $2.85. He eventually leaves the diner because nobody's there, and he wanders off into the street to, I assume, search for some sign of life in this town. But as he moves, nothing is really going on, and it's as if all people vanish from the earth. He does, however, notice something in a vehicle. It looks like a human figure, and it seems like he's found somebody. Someone he can talk to and hear instead of his own voice. So he goes over to the vehicle, and maybe it's someone who can possibly help him. Like, what the hell's going on here? Why are there no people around? Maybe you can bring me back home because I don't know who I am. I don't know my name. But what do you know? It's a mannequin, out of all things. Hey, better than nothing, right? But he now knows nothing is here, so he moves on. But now we're getting to the stage where panic is starting to settle in. He's at this phone booth that actually rings for him to answer it, but of course nobody is there, except this service voice from a woman. But it's almost like a prank call and they're messing around with Mike, as if he's not having enough trouble already. He almost locks himself in the damn phone booth too, and you know, as a kid, I had a fear of these things. I'd be very claustrophobic and I'd hate to go inside there, but he actually does almost lock himself into that. And man, imagine being locked in that in a world like this with nobody to help. Well, I guess he could just smash the window with a fist and just climb out. At a police station, he wanders around there too and even finds a smoking cigar that seems to be in use, but like I said, everything is running as normal, but no people are there. So the cigarette is smoking away, but no one's there to smoke it. Probably for the best. Those things will kill you. But he's on his own, make no mistake. This world has nobody. He even goes inside one of the cells at one point, and the cell door slowly closes on its own, and that comes across as very haunting to say the least. Just imagine being locked in an empty cell within that empty world. Holy crap, not fun. It's time to wake up now. So the day turns to night, and after a day of eating at a diner, almost locking himself in a jail cell, and talking to a mannequin, he winds up playing tic-tac-toe with himself. I wonder who won that game. And then he approaches a movie theater, but of course it's empty, although he does come up with a theory that maybe he's just in a very vivid dream. And hey, I've had lucid dreams myself, and they can get very vivid and real. So maybe he is just in a really big lucid dream. That'd be pretty cool. That could describe this episode. It really does give off a dreamy, spooky, and creepy vibe. Almost like a nightmarish lucid dream or something. And something about being in a small town all by yourself with nobody around is an odd feeling. Walking in a place with no people around. I don't know. Maybe it's just a human thing. We just need that communication. We just need that companionship every day. Which is kind of what this episode teaches us. Humans don't do so well alone, and we need other people to kind of get by each day. However, it turns out Mike was never alone in this journey he went through, and there were men watching his every move this whole time. This town, this world, this reality he was a part of, it was a big lie, and it is simply a simulation, as in this reality, he is actually a training astronaut, and this whole adventure was a test to see how long he can last being alone. Whew, god damn. And like I said, this episode tells us that humans need companionship, and that loneliness is something we haven't licked yet. Humans, currently, unless we get over this, need that connection to survive. Whether you want to believe that is entirely up to you, but me personally, I do believe we need some form of communication each day, and that it does help us mentally. It really is an interesting thought that Rod Serling held on to and believed. Anyway, that was my review on Where Is Everybody, and it's one of my all-time favorite Twilight Zone episodes. It's creepy, spooky, and keeps you hooked. The music, I forgot to mention, is excellent and very old sounding too, like from that time, which adds to the days gone by feel and the dreamy atmospheric feel. Earl Holliman's performance is a real treat to watch as he goes from being comedic to panic mode throughout this episode, and I adore the writing and editing too. It's all tied together perfectly. I'm sorry if I didn't get too deep into it, but I just wanted to take a quick look over this episode, and I definitely will return in the future, hopefully, with other reviews of the Twilight Zone episodes. I definitely have a lot of favorites out there. And I hate to do this, but if you enjoy these videos, then yeah, subscribe, because I will upload more, and you can even ask me what to review, and I'll review it. And if you can, please do share this video around, because it will help. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and it's time to wake up now.